Dementia, including Alzheimer's disease, is becoming an increasingly serious issue in today's society, especially as the population ages. More than 5 million Americans are currently living with Alzheimer's, and this number will continue to rise as the aging population increases. This makes identifying and detecting the early signs of the disease incredibly important. Barbara O'Neill will share with you the subtle early signs of dementia, which are often easy to overlook. But if detected early, they can help improve the management of the disease and the quality of life for those with Alzheimer's and their families. In this video, we will explore the silent symptoms that patients may experience in the early stages of the disease, the latest research on Alzheimer's, and ways to prevent or reduce the risk of developing the disease through lifestyle changes, diet, and natural remedies. Early detection and lifestyle adjustments can help protect brain health, slow disease progression, and reduce the burden on both patients and their loved ones. Warning: the early signs of dementia. You should never ignore.
And Alzheimer's doesn't develop quickly. In fact, some people might think it does because they suddenly start to have some lack of memory, they start to have a few things, but it actually hasn't developed quickly. It's developed over a long time. See, what we do in our 20s is revealed on our 40s. What we do in our 40s is revealed in our 60s. What we do in our 60s is revealed in our 80s. And in my last lecture, I drew our brain, and I'm going to draw it again. And we're looking at the prefrontal cortex, and I'm sure you'll remember that the prefrontal cortex has 4 functions, and these 4 functions basically go down when someone has Alzheimer's. So when someone has Alzheimer's, how's their intellect? It's not very good, is it? How are their reasoning powers? Not very good. How is their judgment? Terrible. And so as you can see, that when someone has Alzheimer's, the part of the brain that is directly affected is the prefrontal cortex. And because the intellect and reason and judgment are gone, the decisions are terrible. In fact, I had people come to me saying, I woke up in the middle of the night, my wife was gone. I went outside, I saw her walking down the main road with no clothes on. Another man said, I woke up, my wife wasn't there. She's in the next door's yard taking their clothes off the clothesline and putting them on. And strange things, their reason, their intellect and their judgment is not working. So the $1 million question is why? Because Proverbs 26 verse 2 states that the curse causeless shall not come. It's Old English. It basically means no problem, no depression, no Alzheimer's, no dementia happens without a cause. There is always a cause. And in the little book, The Ministry of Healing, I love that formula. She says in the case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained. This is on the 2nd page in the chapter, The Physician, the Educator. Cause should be ascertained. So how do you ascertain the cause? I've had 2 men attend our program who got depression 6 months after moving into a mouldy house. So how so? So now we need to go to our nerve cell. Here's our nerve cell. And here are our receiving stations. And our receiving stations, our dendrites, are the ones that pick up the neurotransmitters. They encapsulate them, send them down the arm, and then they go into the little boutons. These are the boutons, and the neurotransmitters flash across to the receiving station, the dendrites from the next nerve cell. So here are the little neurotransmitters. They come in, they're encapsulated, they're sent down the arm, into the little bouton, and then they're released out from the boutons to the next nerve cells. That's basically how it happens. And those neurotransmitters can be travelling anywhere between 200, and in a crisis, that's about 200 miles an hour. So when it says unhealthful conditions changed, say there is a mouldy house, remember that when oxygen is present in the nerve cell, it's going to give us 36 units of energy. But when someone's breathing in mold from a mouldy house, there's not much oxygen there. And that top pathway that has no oxygen, that only gives 2 units of energy. Our brain needs oxygen. Maybe the person is living underneath the electrical towers. And those electrical towers, there's 500 times the electromagnetic field that's usually on the planet. That's how much it's increased under the electrical towers. It used to be that houses weren't allowed to be built under those electrical towers. But if you noticed, in some housing estates, they're there. And they're the cheapest house on the estate. Another one I have found is when there's been landfill and there's been a lot of chemicals dumped, and then housing estates are built. And then you'll find that in every house there's sicknesses. Some houses, Alzheimer's, some houses depression, some houses cancer, some houses what they call autoimmune diseases. Somehow, you see, arthritis, people react in different ways. That's why you can never be absolute on the cause. There are some common causes, but there are also differences in every case. Unhealthful conditions changed, wrong habits corrected. How do you know what the wrong habits are? You go through those laws of health. You're drinking adequate water, you're getting sunshine every day, you're going to bed early. What sort of food are you eating? So that's how you ascertain whether habits need to be changed. And then nature is to be assisted, and we're going to have a look at this bit, and we're going to have a look at what can be taken to assist in the treatment of Alzheimer's and also the prevention. So you always look at the history. Symptoms are your body saying, excuse me, there's a problem and I need you to do something. And as you try simple natural treatments, your body will say, I like it, or your body will say, no, that's not doing much. So you adjust, and how you know how to adjust is you watch your body's response. And this is how we can be our own doctors.
The brain is one of the most important organs in the body, and it can be very vulnerable if not properly cared for and protected. Providing adequate oxygen to the brain is essential to maintaining cognitive functions, emotional regulation, and body coordination. When oxygen levels are insufficient, brain cells become damaged, leading to cognitive decline, memory loss, and more serious neurological issues, including conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. In addition to oxygen deficiency, another dangerous factor for brain health is exposure to harmful toxins in the environment, including pesticides. Studies have shown that pesticides, particularly chemicals like organophosphates, can harm the nervous system, increasing the risk of cognitive decline and neurological diseases. Alongside pesticides, other environmental toxins such as heavy metals, mercury, lead, and industrial chemicals can also damage the brain and increase the risk of neurological diseases. To protect brain health, it is crucial to minimize exposure to harmful toxins and maintain a healthy lifestyle. This includes eating a nutritious diet, staying physically active, reducing stress, and taking precautions when exposed to toxic chemicals. Sleep is also an important, yet often overlooked factor in protecting brain health. Poor sleep quality, due to environmental factors like noise or artificial light, can affect brain function during sleep. While we sleep, the brain removes toxins and restores chemical balance. However, chronic sleep deprivation interrupts this process, leading to the buildup of harmful proteins, such as beta amyloid, which is one of the factors associated with Alzheimer's disease.
Michael said to me, do you know, I remember Anne. And Anne is well known, she never goes to bed before midnight. Here is another point, and Dr. Matthew Walker shows this in his book, Why We Sleep. In the night, especially the hours before midnight, there's the glymphatic system. And the glymphatic system, it cleans up waste from neuronal activity. It's the brain's vacuum cleaner. It cleans up, yes, thorns from negative emotions when we forgive. It cleans up waste from combusting oxygen and glucose at the cellular level. But if, and all through our lives, it's not unusual that little calcified deposits can build up a little bit here and there in the prefrontal cortex, especially if the person's on a high acid diet. What's a high acid diet? A lot of meat? Well, Anne was a vegetarian, but she ate a lot of carbohydrates. She ate a lot of wheat, a lot of sugars. And those little calcified deposits, a few of them build up, but when we go to bed early, the lymphatic system can mop up those little calcified plaques so they don't develop. And what they have found in cases of people with Alzheimer's, they do post-mortems on them and they've got calcified deposits called amyloid plaques, all built up in the prefrontal cortex. So when those amyloid plaques build up there, they inhibit intellect, they inhibit reason, they inhibit judgment. So here was another aspect with Anne.
Nutrition plays a key role in brain health. In addition to fats and neurotransmitters that help build and protect brain cells, trace nutrients like magnesium, zinc, and selenium are essential for enzyme processes in the brain. When any of these micronutrients are deficient, the brain becomes more vulnerable to stress factors and may lead to mood disorders like depression, anxiety, or more serious cognitive issues. Therefore, maintaining a balanced diet rich in these micronutrients is critical for long-term brain health. Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia and has significantly increased in recent years, especially among older adults. One potential contributing factor to this condition is the use of cholesterol-lowering medications, particularly statins, which are widely used to control blood cholesterol levels. While statins are effective in reducing the risk of cardiovascular diseases and strokes, some studies have shown that long-term use of statins can have side effects on brain health, including cognitive decline and memory disorders.
How many in aged care facilities are showing Alzheimer's and dementia who are on the cholesterol-lowering medications? And as I showed you, when we looked at the heart, cholesterol is not the cause of heart disease. The cause of heart disease is damage to the arterial walls. And because the damage is happening to the arterial walls, the liver releases cholesterol to actually patch up the holes. So to say that cholesterol causes heart disease is like saying the fire trucks are causing the fire. Now what we should be asking, if there is cholesterol buildup, why? Why is the body doing that? Because it doesn't do it for no reason. And so to come in with cholesterol-lowering medications actually is not helping the problem. So there were some areas that it was almost impossible for us to resolve. But we look at that because we don't want to go there. And then we had a lady come and attend our program. She came with her mother. She's 45. Her mother was about 75. And her mother had dementia. And I remember going into the bedroom and the mother was just looking straight through me. You almost couldn't connect with her. She just stood there. And as we investigated, we discovered the lady wasn't drinking any water. We discovered she hadn't opened her bowels for 6 hours. So for little by little, we encouraged her to drink water. We found that she would drink some hot peppermint tea. And we encouraged her to have that little bit of salt. We gave her some herbs to get the bowels moving. Within 48 hours, her mind was clear. She was looking straight at us and she was talking to us. And on Wednesday night when we did the poultice demonstration, she was telling us about all the things that her mother did to her when she was a little girl. Her daughter was so excited about the turnaround in her mother, she booked in for a second week. And in that second week, she spent most of her time on the phone, arranging to get her mother out of aged care, and she brought her mother back home. Because she didn't have to micromanage her mother anymore. Because her mother's mind became clear, her mother started to make decisions that were good for her body and her mind. And her mother lived with her for another 10 years until she finally passed.
The lesson here is that our daily habits are very important, from staying hydrated and well-nourished to avoiding unnecessary medications. Small changes can have a profound impact on mental and physical health as we age. Don't wait until it's too late to make these changes. Prevention is always better than cure. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more health tips. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.